who is Gen Z's Alexa Chung? A while ago, the account Newsfash posted a video where they asked, who is Gen Z's Alexa Chung? They spoke a little bit about Alexa Chung and her history, her role, the space that she occupies in the fashion world, and just how beloved she is as a fashion icon. In this video, they also allude to the idea that Gen Z might not have an Alexa Chung of our own because we are a generation that maybe lacks a distinct personal style or fashion identity. The creator behind the account Newsfash is a fashion journalist, and she didn't use any inflammatory terms in her video. She wasn't looking to just sort of punch down on Gen Z. In fact, at the end of the video, she asked for Gen Zers to come into her comment section and tell her who they think is our Alexa Chung. Emma Chamberlain came up a lot, some Iris Law, but I got the feeling, reading the comment section, that the millennials didn't really agree. And I don't really agree with those suggestions either. In fact, Newsfash made a follow-up video where they said that Alexa Chung is Gen Z's Alexa Chung, that she can't be matched. I want to talk a little bit about the thing that made Alexa Chung, and speak about why I think that Gen Z doesn't have our own Alexa Chung. I think there are 4 factors that made Alexa Chung the icon that she is today. Her great personal style, her beauty, her charm, and the backing of legacy media, and also maybe early on in her career, the fact that she dated a rock star added a lot to her mystique. I don't think that her going out with Alex Turner is what made her. I do think that it's what initially attracted people's attention, and then once we were looking in that direction, we said, oh well, she's so well dressed and she's so beautiful and charming. It's Alexa, who she is, her style, that's what held our attention. Now, Alexa has it. She is a forever it girl, but I don't think that the backing of legacy media, of institutions like Vogue, of the fashion magazines, all of the brands that invited her to sit front row at their shows, I don't think that that can be downplayed. I think that's part of what's missing for the Gen Z fashion creators, the Gen Z would-be it girls of today. I think that a lot of the young women, the influencers who are being invited to fashion shows nowadays, are not necessarily fashion creators or women who just have great style. They are blank canvases that brands can project their image onto, vessels that they use to attract a young audience, that coveted 18 to 40 demographic that all of the marketers are so crazy about. And I think that's what's happening. I think that the Vogues of the world, the Chanels, the Gucci's, they're looking in the wrong direction. I think part of the reason why we don't have an Alexa Chung is because the right girls, the right people are not being invited to the shows. They're not being invited to these rooms. They're not being given a seat at the table. Something that's really annoying about legacy media and older institutions is that they really can drag their feet when it comes to adopting new technologies and new ways of communicating, but then when they do it in the worst way possible. I mean, just look at the way Vogue has ripped off La Watch Party. They have done away with Teen Vogue, and their online presence, it's really not where it needs to be. I think that they could do so many great things if they looked at smaller micro influencers, people who really love fashion, people like Rianne Finn, if they could collab with people like that and get them to write articles for their magazine, to do video essays, or just find a way to make room for young fashion professionals who are looking for their place in the industry. Something the creator Mina Lay talked about in one of her videos. Mina before had a really distinct personal style. She very often was dolled up in all sort of 1920s period garb, and she said that she was kind of disappointed looking at her peers, influencers who were also at her level, seeing, or not even influencers who were at her level, even newer girls, seeing them get invited to the Gucci show or the Chanel show, and thinking, well, why aren't I getting invited to these shows? And she alluded to the fact that it might be because her personal style was just so distinct, it would be hard for a brand to put a stamp on her. Right? These brands, I think they want young, beautiful women whose style isn't too distinct so that they can use them to sell more products, to move units. And I have to agree. I can't tell you how many times I've seen young girls who are gorgeous and funny but who aren't fashion creators get invited to the fashion shows of luxury brands, and they get there and they're like, oh, I loved everything about the show. Obviously they're not being paid to critique the show. They're there as a representative of the brand, so why would they then critique the show? But I want something more interesting than that from these brands. I want meat, and these girls, they give nothing. Back to Emma Chamberlain and her possibly being Gen Z's Alexa Chung. I don't know if this is like a hater-ass take, but I don't think that Emma Chamberlain is Gen Z's Alexa Chung, because Emma Chamberlain has a stylist, and I think that automatically disqualifies her. Alexa Chung, in a 2008 article for The Guardian by Laura Barton, said that she did have a stylist for her TV job. She was a presenter on a TV show on Channel 4, but that for her own personal appearances and her own personal street style, she was dressing herself. This UK Vogue article from 2024 says that Alexa Chung is an it girl who rarely works with a stylist and instead relies on the relationships that she has forged throughout her time in the industry. She knows her stuff. Now, let's be clear, I don't think that Emma Chamberlain is just some mannequin who walks into a room and is dressed without giving any sort of input of her own. But I do think that the relationship that she has with her stylist, Jared Allen, I'm trying to get out of the way so you can see. There he is. I think it's very much a partnership. And Jared's input was instrumental from taking Emma to just a young woman who was very influential to her age demographic, to someone who is consistently hitting it out of the park on the red carpet. It says here that Jared took Emma Chamberlain from a well-dressed content creator with a knack for secondhand shopping to a fashion star. So, if Emma Chamberlain is Gen Z's Alexa Chung, so is Jared Elner. I just wanted to go back to this photo because he looks gorgeous. Like, wow. He also said that Emma is his muse for when he works. So it's, again, I think her input and her personality and her wit are very important. It's the foundation of their relationship and of the clothes that she ends up wearing.